Have you ever wondered how glass is made? That same glass found in windows, smartphones, and cars? Believe it or not, over 100,000 tons of glass are produced around the world every single day. In the US alone, they use millions of tons every year. And to make that much glass, you need a lot of sand. But not just any sand. What's really fascinating is how this fine powder becomes a solid, clear material we call glass. Let's explore how that happens. It all starts with silica sand. When this sand is heated to incredibly high temperatures, it melts and becomes glass. And the cool part? Glass is everywhere in our modern world. We use it in buildings, cars, phones, you name it. Even though it looks fragile, glass can be surprisingly strong. Some types can resist extreme heat, heavy pressure, and powerful impacts. That's why glass is so useful in architecture and engineering. And did you know that glass was first discovered completely by accident? Around 3000 BC, it's said that ancient Egyptians were heating sand with a powder called soda ash near fire, and somehow created glass. Back then, it was only used to make ornaments like jewelry and amulets. Centuries passed, and by the late 1800s, people began developing new types of glass that looked clearer and more elegant. But glassmaking was still complex and expensive. Large furnaces melted glass into slabs, but the process was slow and error-prone. Everything changed in 1959 when a man named Alastair Pilkington revolutionized the process. He invented what's now known as the float method. In this method, molten glass floats on a bed of liquid tin, creating smooth, flat sheets of clear glass, faster and at a much lower cost. So, where does silica sand come from? It's actually found in many places, but not every sand works. In some regions, like deep mines in Brazil, quality sand is trapped inside hard rock, buried meters underground. To reach it, workers drill deep holes and use powerful explosives. Each hole is packed with about 60 kilograms of ammonium nitrate mixed with fuel, plus 2.5 kilograms of a stronger explosive to make sure the blast does the job. Once everything's ready, a blasting expert gives the signal, and boom, the rocks shatter, releasing the sand hidden inside. When the dust settles, massive excavators and trucks move in to collect it all. In just a short time, they extract tons of this special sand. Next stop? The processing plant, where the journey of turning sand into glass begins. That's where cleaning happens. Mixed in the sand are impurities, clay, and organic debris that can't go into glass. So the sand is dumped into large tanks of hot water. The heat helps separate the clean grains from the waste. After that, huge machines dry the sand thoroughly to remove every bit of moisture and dirt. Once clean and dry, the sand is packed into giant sacks, each weighing about a ton. These are shipped directly to a glass factory, the largest one in the United States. Each week, it receives over 5,000 tons of silica sand. That's a whole lot of glass in the making. This is where the main ingredients for glassmaking are stored. Every day, over 700 tons enter the system. Along with the sand, they mix in sodium carbonate and calcium carbonate. These help lower the sand's melting point, making it easier to turn into glass. The calcium carbonate also strengthens the final product, making it less likely to crack or break. There's another important element: leftover glass from earlier batches. This recycled glass helps the new mixture melt faster. And if they want to give the glass a unique color, pigments are added too. For instance, adding cobalt oxide creates a rich blue tone that's really striking. Once all ingredients are ready, they go into a special mixer with 2 chambers. Inside, everything is thoroughly stirred to create a uniform blend. This mixture is then sent to a giant furnace that runs on gas and reaches a staggering 1,650 degrees Celsius, hotter than volcanic lava. As the glass melts, the furnace operator takes over. They carefully pour everything into a crucible, a type of heat-proof pot. Once everything is set, the top is sealed to control temperature and manage the melting process. Inside the facility, the heat is intense. Workers wear fire-resistant suits and gloves for protection. It's tough work, but essential. This is where the glass we use every day truly begins. While the glass mixture heats up, Every step must be carefully executed. Workers use long metal tools, similar to rakes, to stir the molten glass. Their goal? To remove air bubbles formed during heating. These bubbles may be tiny, but they weaken the glass and affect clarity. After 24 hours in the furnace, the mix turns into a glowing, lava-like mass. It's molten glass, thick, super hot, and just the right texture. Over the next few hours, it stays melted, so any remaining gases can escape, making the material pure and clean. There are 12 crucibles inside the furnace, each capable of holding molten glass of a different color. And they're no small pots. Each one can handle up to 270 kilograms of liquid glass. This allows many types and colors to be created all at once. Once everything is perfect, the team jumps into action. They carefully pull molten glass from the crucibles. But they need to be fast. There are only seconds to move the material to the mixing table. If it stops moving, it cools too quickly and forms defects. Here's a neat detail. The metal spoons used to scoop the glass must be cooled down between uses. If they're too hot, the next batch sticks. These spoons come in different sizes and can carry 2 to 18 kilograms of glass. Sometimes, to get the exact color they want, workers use up to 5 different spoons at once. This is where artistry meets technique. At the mixing table, a worker stirs the hot glass using a steel fork. It might look simple, but it takes years of experience and a trained eye. One wrong move, and the color can turn dull or lose its shine. The secret lies in perfect blending. Once the glass has the right color and texture, it goes into a special machine with rolling cylinders. These press and stretch the glass, turning it into thin, flat sheets. The pressure has to be just right, too much or too little, and the glass comes out warped or full of bubbles. The worker then carefully separates the sheet from the table, removing any air bubbles that may have formed during the process. And just like that, a perfect glass sheet is born. But it's not done yet. The sheet goes straight into a special furnace, where it's reheated and gradually cooled down. This slow process prevents cracks and strengthens the glass, making it ready to be cut and shaped as needed. Once the sheet has cooled completely, it's taken to the cutting room. There, workers, always wearing protective gloves and suits, handle the edges with extreme care. They're still hot and razor sharp. Each crucible can produce around 25 sheets per day, which adds up to about 300 sheets from each furnace, every single day. Cutting is a delicate process that requires 2 workers. They use a tough tool with a tip made of tungsten carbide to score the glass. Then, with precision, they break it into standard-sized sheets, 81 by 81 centimeters. And nothing goes to waste. The leftover pieces are sent back to the furnace to be recycled in future batches. Once cut, the glass sheets are carefully placed into wooden crates, ready to be shipped all over the world. Enjoyed this video? Then you'll probably love learning how canned sardines are made. That video is already waiting for you on the screen. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on notifications to keep discovering how everyday things are made. And of course, share this with someone who's also curious about the world.
See you next time.